It's amazing. You see Sashi today and you don't find anything amiss.
I'm friends with some 8th graders who are in Kushner and are in SINAI, like Connie and Juliet. I'm friends with some of the boys in my class, at least I think. I don't know.
Sashi went through tremendous trials and tribulations.
In kindergarten, she would come home crying every day, but she wouldn't tell me what the problem was. And we realized that anytime there was any sort of free play or when the room got loud, she was on such sensory overload that she literally could not take it, that the noise in her head was excruciating. Sashi was learning disabled, hearing impaired. She had sensory integration issues.
It was like very confusing and frustrating.
She would have tantrums. She had a short fuse.
It was hard. It was hard to see her like that because that wasn't Sashi.
There was one point where Sashi came over and she said, I don't understand why Hashem would do this to me. I looked at her and I said, you know, Sashi, everything that Hashem does, he does for a reason. And right now, I can't tell you why you have to go through this. And I can't tell you why we have to watch you suffer. But maybe the reason is so that when you get older, you can help somebody else because you'll understand from a part of your heart that nobody else will be able to understand. When Sashi was in kindergarten and we learned about her hearing loss, that was the year that our twins were born.
Sarah had with her twin Henny what's called twin-to-twin transfusion, where one is recipient of all the good stuff that you need, and the other one was the donor who gave all the good stuff. So Sarah was the donor. So when she was born white as the lights, and they didn't know if she was gonna live.
So Henny was home within 8 days. Sarah was there for just under 5 weeks. She had 4 transfusions. She was on a ventilator. She needed a feeding tube.
You saw differences as they were getting older. One could sit up more, one could hold their bottle better.
The twins are just so cute, but no one realizes for Sarah it was so hard. She was in a special ed program always.
We had to find a place where the teachers understood the students and could meet not just their educational needs, but their social emotional needs as well. And really through Hashem's guidance, Sinai was suggested to us, and we met Mrs. Karp, and the welcome that we got, the warmth we felt from her was unbelievable.
When I first came here, I was a bit nervous because I didn't know what it was going to be like. And I met the teachers, and they were all very nice. They still are. And the students are nice and welcoming also. It was cool. I like this place.
And we were absolutely terrified. Here you have something so within reach, and you know that this is what your kid needs. And then they tell you the tuition, and you want to keel over. And I have to say, of all the schools I have dealt with, Sinai was the most respectful and reasonable, and they care about helping the kids.
From an academic perspective and financially as well, we really bent over backwards to make this work for this family, for these 2 girls in particular, and because we knew that if we could just get them here, that they'd be in a really different place pretty soon, and sure enough, that's happened.
It was a wonderful thing for us as a school to welcome in these 2 terrific girls.
I just looked at Ari and I knew that was exactly what every ounce of pain, every minute of suffering was to bring them to this school.
Sarah has a severe learning language delay.
Taking in information, making sense of it, holding onto it, and giving back answers at this point is still quite challenging for her. This makes learning very hard because language is infused in every learning experience, whether it's Parsha or it's reading or it's math.
It also means it's hard for her to be able to express herself well, which then makes it socially difficult for her sometimes.
We could help them and making me happy.
We use a lot of different kinds of tools in working with our kids. A favorite is the puppet show. It's a very child-friendly and very safe way for our kids to express themselves. For Sarah, like many of our other kids who have barriers in language, it helps them come up with sentences and it helps them create a dialogue.
Sarah is thriving very nicely. She's growing every day. Her social skills, her behavior, her didactic, everything is just merging all together very nicely.
The swiftness in which she has learned a lot of things already, that tells us the future is bright.
When she came in the first day, she was very reserved and quiet. I could tell that she was very anxious, but you could tell by the look in her eye that she was a great kid. You could immediately relate to her, and I took her immediately to my heart.
Sashi really can do high-level work, but she needs it taught in the right way.
I don't understand a lot of things, and like some of the stuff they teach, so they just explain it. And if I still don't get it, I tell them, and they help me out with it. Like in math, I'm not that good. My teacher says I am, but I'm not.
Her personality is a sense of humor. I mean, she sees the world in this bright way.
What's it like at home?
Noisy. Very noisy. The best part about being deaf in one ear is you could stick one finger in your ear and you don't hear them.
Their first day in school, Sashi sat down next to a girl, and I guess one of them must have been talking to the other one's deaf ear, and they realized that they not only sharing a learning disability, but they shared a hearing disability. And it was so amazing for her to have that connection, and they just became very fast, close friends. They could share those feelings that nobody else could possibly understand.
Everybody says that. They all assume that since I'm deaf in one ear and she has hearing aids, that we have like a strange connection or something. Well, I think we have like a normal friendship that most people usually have.
When I went to graduation, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The way the kids all blend together, you don't even know who's special needs and who's regular education. Everyone's just friends, and it was one big cohesive group.
She was so happy. The smile on her face was, I cried every time I looked at her because she was just beaming.
I think today is the happiest day of my life because I got to see her grow into this incredible human being over such a short amount of time. Are you excited about high school?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Now, Sashi is in our Ma'or High School, which is housed at the Ray Kushner Yeshiva High School. She is in small Ma'or classes, but has inclusion opportunities with Kushner classes as well.
Sashi's great in my class. She contributes happily in very creative, inspirational ways.
Our Ma'or students go to college. No matter what deficits they come to us with, our job is to make sure that they're ready for the next step in their career.
A doctor, a therapist, something around those lines would not be very far off for her because she could sympathize and empathize. You'll have to check back with us in 8 years when she finishes college. I called Mrs. Carp and I said, "You've changed her life."
You have these kids who were so quiet before and just didn't do anything who now become alive, and it's what a parent wants to see in their child.
We've been touched and blessed so much by being a part of SINAI, and we are so thankful that they accepted us and our children, and that they have shown us how incredible our children are and how they appreciate how incredible our children are.